What's going on, Golferos? Welcome back to the Salud Golferos podcast. I know we took a little break, but we are back with a virtual episode. Today we have guests David and Steve of Chingos of Golf. Guys, welcome to the podcast, and thanks for being on with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for including us in your podcast. Much appreciated.
Excited, man. Excited.
Of course, man. We were grateful to be on your pod, and I feel like we had to reciprocate. Raul's coming back on, and as promised, we had to bring our Hector on, our crazy Hex.
The famous,
So the warning must go up on this podcast again. So children, women are offended. Hex is on, dude. Don't worry about it.
Watch out. Be careful. Beware. Buyer beware.
It's
Mom
definitely
and Dad, if you have
rated
the kids
MA.
in the car, please listen to another episode and then come back to this one on your own free time.
We tried to get our Hector on, and he couldn't make it today. He's double timing on other stuff, and it's just and that's fine. I tried to bring our Hector in, but that's okay.
Yeah.
He's with us in our heart and soul, right? So.
There it is.
Dang, bro, you making him sound like he died or something. Like shit.
I know. All deep. You got deep super quick, dude.
Don't put out bad vibes out there, dude. Come
Oh,
on.
my bad. My fault.
It's spirit will
Like, damn,
talk.
dude.
Yeah. Right on, man. Well, let's introduce you guys. Let's let the people know who you guys are. So, correct me if I'm wrong on any of the information, but you guys are based out of San Antonio, Texas, right?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%. Steve, kick it off, man. Where did we start, or what? Give them their story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is Chingos of Golf? Where'd you guys start from?
Well, we started, man, it was David, myself, and Hector. We've been friends for 20 plus years. I've known Hector since middle school, David since high school. We played a lot of sports together. We created that brotherhood, especially when you do play, any type of sport. But it was something that we kept going through the years. As you get older, you lose a lot of friendships. And with us three, we always kept in touch. And part of the whole thing of Chingos is something when we're younger, we would say, hey, there's Chingos of chicks, there's we're gonna go
Chingos of drinks.
Chingos of drinks,
Chingos of drinks.
so we just started, that was part of our normal saying, we're gonna go to this club, we're gonna see Chingos of chicks, we're gonna get Chingos of drinks, and just everything was go ahead,
But
dude.
pause there. That's a good point. So
Yeah.
it wasn't to us Chingos. Yes, it means abundance, right? And like all things in Spanish, you change the O to an A, it becomes a better word. But to us Chingos, but it was out of humor, in spite of.
Yeah.
So we would say, hey, we're gonna go to a party, and there's gonna be Chingos of chicks. Guess what? There was no chicks. It was all dudes. So we would do it like,
dudes, bro.
yeah, it was sausage fest, but we would make Chingos of chicks. Or
Yeah.
it'll be like, oh, we're gonna go to your house and we're gonna get Chingos of drinks. There'll be no drinks because the guy didn't have any money,
Yeah.
So the Chingos was always something with like the opposite of that,
Yeah.
So like even Chingos are fun. It was boring, man. It was super boring.
So that again, like it was mostly, we use that all the time. So we figured out, during the pandemic, we're like, okay, you know what, I really enjoy playing golf. I started playing a lot more frequently during that time, getting Hector and David involved as well. And we felt, I'm like, hey, you know what, like Chingos of Golf is something that we do, because we do play a lot, and that's,
But we don't play good, man.
we don't play, yeah.
We don't play great.
Don't
You're
matter.
670, it don't matter.
We're working on it.
It's Chingos of Golf, whatever. Chingos of Golf, man.
So we started thinking, oh, you know what, let's try it out, man. And one of the things we got together and we're like, hey, well, what kind of shirts are we going to try to go for? So, if we maybe start something, and we started thinking of a loteria characters, like, hey, maybe we could kind of customize a little bit. And, we don't see a lot of that in the South Texas culture, spreading the word out for that. And then we put that out there, and then we started thinking, okay, well, what's next? And we started thinking, okay, Guayaberas, you don't see that, and it was something that we kind of just brainstorm and working through it. And we kind of got threw ourselves out there and say, okay, let's see how it works, and here we are.
See where it goes. And it came
and
from
what
playing golf. Yeah, yeah. We were just playing golf and like, hey man, let's try to make money off of this. If we're gonna be playing golf, let's try to do something. And I
that
told the guys,
Mexican hustle, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, why don't we, let's put some videos out there, see where it goes. And then I think somebody had the idea of like, why don't we do Guayaberas, like sports polos? And there's somebody that does some stuff out there that's out there, hit or miss, but it wasn't like true design, two
Yeah.
pockets, everything. And we just felt that might be our little niche area. Come to find, we're like, all right, wherever this goes, let's see where it goes. Let's
Yeah.
do a podcast. I'm not big on putting ourselves out there that much, but now that we've been in for a year, back to your point about Cesar, which is interesting you opened that way. I find the connections that we've made, we otherwise wouldn't make it if it wasn't for this
Yeah.
Chingos of Golf, So I guess we're just going with the flow right now, see how things go. We started a year ago, but
Yeah.
we made a lot of mistakes, guys, tons of mistakes with our merchandise and our product. We've learned our lesson, and now I think we're at a better spot. So
A lot of
we'll see
trial
where
and
it
error.
goes.
Yeah.
Being able to really utilize that experience, and yeah, like, do we want to make money? Of course, but I wanted to be able to pay for golf or any tournaments or anything. That's it. Like, we're not here to be like, oh, like, let it rain on
Dude,
me.
I'm trying to be the pins of Aces of Mexicans, man. No,
Because
it's all
we all
fun.
know, like, it's saturated out there, and it's something that, there's a lot of brands out there, and I don't see us competing. Most of the time we're supporting a lot of local businesses. We're trying to bring the community together, trying to get us all one, the Latino culture, South Texas, and it spreads, and being able to do that is a huge accomplishment that we started, gaining a lot of views from that.
Mm.
And designing, I'm gonna pretty much put out I think a hat that says toma, just stuff like little slang words like that
Slang words, yeah.
and it just shows like the golf ball, and it says toma, like, if you hit something, or one of my earlier designs, I don't think it worked, but it was like a shirt that said E on it,
Yeah,
like you
nobody
miss a
got
putt,
it.
you go
Nobody
E.
got
No,
it.
nobody got it.
Yeah,
So
nobody.
uh but just again, it's fun, and growing the friendship, that's another thing that keeps us together too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Okay,
creative. Big creative.
so thank you for you answered one of my questions without me having to ask it. So you guys started about a year ago.
Mhm.
You have the idea for the Guayabera. You come out and you guys are rocking it right now. That's awesome. I love that you
Nice.
guys are doing that. So would you guys define Chingos of Golf as a business, or define it more as a social media brand? How are you
Yeah,
guys, like, how do you guys define yourself?
that's deep, and that's a good one. If you would ask me, I think Steve and I would have probably different answers.
Go
I
ahead, dude. I'll
think
let you
that
go first.
No, I mean, what are we, right? At the end of the day, like, are you social media, or are you say like or a brand, right? Like, what is Chingos?
Yeah.
No, that's a good question, and I first think that the answer is I feel we don't have what we have, what you have in California. I feel like I look at you guys and I see you have a really good community, of a lot of different individuals. I mean, there's a lot of how can I put this? It shows for it that you have a lot of meaning in what you put together, right? Like, I think that you have that.
Mhm.
We don't have that kind of closeness with other strangers or people we don't know yet. And I don't know, it's just because we're new in the market, but even when we go out there, I don't feel that we have that kind of community like you guys. Like, you guys got the sarapes, bunch of people have the sarapes. It's like somebody wears sarape, boom, you that's one of the people you have.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
don't have that. I don't know,
Not
Steve,
yet.
I might be wrong. We don't have, and not that I mean the concept of that, like sarape, brother, like we don't have that at all. Not to say that the chingos is something we're trying to do. So I guess that answers part of it. I don't think we're trying to be like to where to be different. We really want to be like part of it. So if I was to answer your question, I think for now we're more of a social media piece. I don't know if we are a brand yet. I would
Mhm.
like to get us to brand where we have, like, right now our shirts, for example, are solely the Spurs San Antonio colors. So it's those
Yeah.
throwback colors. I know we have the black. We have all these different variations of it. I would like,
Mhm.
as a brand, that we expand beyond San Antonio, but a lot of people that buy our brand are not from San Antonio. So on our first orders that we had, a bunch of people there was some people from Wisconsin, of course, Florida, some in California, but then we started getting one in Hawaii, Idaho, like some of the eastern areas that you would have thought, what in the world? But there is people out there that the Chingos resonates with them. And as a last piece, I don't think Chingos resonates with a lot of people, to be honest with you. I think Chingos, and I think it's that by design. Like, it does not resonate, even with all Hispanic communities. You ask some people the word Chingos, you might get two things. They might think that it's the bad word chingar, right? And they're like, oh my goodness, it's a bad word. Or you might get the people that laugh, they're like, I get it,
Yeah.
And I think that's who we're marketing for, is the people that are like, I get it,
I get it, yeah.
And even our own Hispanics might, like, some people that have a lot of good money that are in Mexico look down on the word chingos as well, So I think our word of what we are is not for everyone. It's for those that get it. So
yeah.
I don't know, Steve. I didn't mean to put the company like that. To me, that's my
Oh,
perspective.
no.
Steve,
I think that's I'm actually going to agree with you, man. Like, we don't know what, like, we're more towards the social media to be able to get, our name out there, to really resonate. And again, like, we are new, like, a year into it. Our podcast, season 2 of our podcast is something that uh is new to us as well too, putting ourselves out there for the community, like, not only on here in San Antonio locally, but anyone that's following us, to be able to just see how we are and what we're offering. And again, we don't really market a lot of our products. That's one thing. When our shirts come in, great, those are going to come in, but it's more of a golf content of us, like, hitting like shit, or just like us messing around.
Yeah.
David's really good at that. But again,
if you're following us to learn about golf, I think you're in the wrong
yeah.
page, man. Like,
same with us, bro. No one should be following us to learn how to play the game.
Yeah, to go somewhere else, man.
At least from a golf swing perspective.
Yeah.
But that's just for us. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just we want to have fun, and we don't want to. And all honestly, we don't want to lose our jobs along the way. I think we all have, like, our own full-time jobs and everything. So there's that balance that I think sometimes I would love. I see some people do. Remember those guys that came out dancing with their hips thrusting, and they're doing this movement. I think it went viral. I mean, it was a great video, but I don't think I ever pictured myself doing that because I have a job. If this ever becomes something that makes more money in my job, then I'll be thrusting. I'll be going on this thing and saying my two-piece. But other than that, there's a level of censorship, I guess I'm trying to say, in our reality,
Maintain some professionalism so you can still show up to the office and be like, okay,
Yeah. And I promote it to a certain degree. I'm not out there promoting it either because I have that balance, But I think at the end of the day, I find it fun. I feel like creative, and my kids watch this. So the other thing the other thing about Chingos that I think people don't know is everything we're doing, even the selling the shirts. I bring my kids along, and I want them to see their dad hustle for it. So even the podcast, they get on the podcast, they watch. I let them watch on Spotify the videos, and I like them to hear their dad talk, so that at least it resonates something for them. So for me, it's a little selfish. I could care less about the $15-20 we make per shirt. I care more about my kids, like, seeing their dad work, because they don't get
a new light, man. Yeah, it's a new light.
So that's dope. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's huge, man, because I remember seeing my mom hustle selling Cokes on the side, because we used to do some other business, but I remember seeing her selling things, and I was 5-6 years old, and it just stayed with me, that little hustle drive, that Mexicano drive, I think, like it was there, and I want to show my kids that through this, so, and it's fun, so.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think that's something that really resonates with this group. Like, Raul's got that hustle mentality. Hex has it. Steve, I'm assuming you do too, because that's probably what bonds you with David. So that's really cool. And the reason I asked you, kind of, do you lean more business brand or social media brand, is because we get that question a lot, or people bring that up. It's like, oh, cool, like they see me. Raul says it all the time, like, I'm chief marketing officer. I do all of the marketing stuff. And so people look at me and they're like, oh, cool, like, you're doing the vlogging, you're doing all that. That's to develop the community. But when people ask me, like, what is Los Golferos, I tell them, like, we are a brand first, and our brand is to give that extra spice or add Mexican flavor into the golf industry. That's our biggest goal, is that we want to put that out there to give representation and show other Mexicanos, Latinos that we're out there. We're out there playing. But yeah, that's where that question came from, is because we get it. So I want to see if you guys get that. But no,
not yet.
No, not yet. As you can see by my answer, not yet, man.
No, and that's totally fine. And I really appreciate that you guys are on so that we could talk about that, because that is one thing too. I hear other people, they see us and they're like, hey, we want to start a brand too. We want to do something. And it's tough, like, what can we do? Like, how do I go about it? Like Raul, I don't know if you've been checking in on the social media lately on the messages, but Padre Tequila has been reaching out to us asking for tips and tricks on how to kick off his business and stuff. And that's one thing, is we're not gatekeeping. We will tell you, like, oh, dude, we messed up there. Like, don't do that. Or like, hey, find someone to help you with this certain aspect. I mean, Raul, I'll let you kind of jump in, because I feel like we got that question too from Lalo asking for help. Like,
yeah, no, and we actually encourage. I mean, like when we first met Lalo in Nueve Golf, shout out to Lalo.
Shout out.
He was almost reserved about launching it. I was like, dude, you need help. If you need help putting up the website, whatever you need, just let me know. Because Steve, to your point, it's trial and error. I tend to be a little bit more strategic, so our errors haven't been as big or haven't cost us as much money, but we learn from those mistakes. We look from the errors we've made, and we just try to make the best out of the situation and then move forward with it. But I think especially for the Latino community who's trying to get a niche into the golf space, it's like, dude, why hate? I mean, Ralph kind of says this for almost every single freaking episode. One of my biggest things is like, a Mexican's biggest hater is another Mexican.
We're
just
and we try to eradicate that as much as we possibly freaking can. Like, dude, lend a freaking hand. It happens so much in other cultures, and I've seen it firsthand. It's time for us to get out of that freaking mindset. And it's like, hey, look, if you guys are doing something, that's great. Another company might be doing something similar, but they're adding their own taste to it. Then more power to them. Like, I don't think any of us are going to bring, and you never know, somebody might come up with something completely different, but I don't think there's something that is completely revolutionary out of nowhere new to the industry. It's just like we're adding our own flair to it, and we should help one another. That's kind of the mindset we have for it.
And there's a lot of space there for that niche.
Yeah,
a ton of it. I know I've seen.
We need to get to the point where it's no longer a niche. It should just be commonplace, where it's like, hey, look, that they're adding, South Texas, they're adding Southern California. Hell, dude, I don't care. South Florida, like whatever it might be. There's a lot of Latinos playing golf now more than ever before, and it's not one of those things where it should be an oddity. It should be commonplace type of thing now.
Right.
Yeah.
I seen Mex golf. Like I was talking. I saw some. Like besides you guys, I think you guys are one of the largest ones that, like, with a lot of, and I said large, I mean the number of followings, for whatever that means, right? Like, I think followings is good to a certain number. So I have you guys, Mex Golf. I've seen them lately. Neva Golf as well. I think Neva Golf does things with you as well. They're not at the 10,000. We're not at 10,000 by any means. We are at 3K, and we keep dropping because we don't have a Ralph that's putting social media out there.
We are blessed with Ralph, David. You don't even know how the value is, man.
Yeah. And I feel sometimes social media, it's keeping up with the Jones, I feel. Like, I really feels like you have to keep up with if you stop posting 2 weeks, guess what? Your number starts going down, one at a time. And you have to put good posts too, Sometimes Steve and I put junk out there, and then our Hector's like, man, this is not like flies with like the algorithm. And you can see it, man. Like, I don't know if the algorithm hates Steve or myself, but every time I post something, it's like 200 views. Hector does it, 1,000 views in like 3 hours. I'm like, what? It's the same thing. But anyways, I
always feel so guilty if I don't post like for a day or two. I'm just like, oh, dude, like I need to go find something, do something.
It's become an expectation, Ralph. Like even our friends are like, hey man, haven't seen Ralph in a while. Is he okay?
Oh man.
I have a 48-hour countdown. If somebody doesn't see anything on the page, they're like, is he okay? Do we need to do something?
It's funny when some of the guys at my company, they're like, hey, I haven't seen your cousin Ralph on there. Is everything all right? I was like, busy with work. He's doing some of the other stuff. But guys that I work with already know you, man. So that's always interesting on it.
Oh, that's so funny.
We'll do a
Gosh, man.
word check on Ralph. Like he hasn't posted in 48
Wow,
hours.
you
We're
play a
gonna
lot though. Like you're always playing golf, I feel. Or is it once a week? How often do you play golf?
No, it's like every day for this
It's a lot
fucker.
more than
All
one
right,
It's
chill,
all-
chill, chill.
Twice a day, this
No.
fucker sometimes.
So he's got
I almost went this morning. I told you I had a half day, so
Yeah,
I was.
this
Oh,
I
fucker
that's
was,
was-
addicted.
On
I was
an
supposed
average
to play
day,
with Nelson.
if he's having a good day, it's twice. Once after breakfast, he'll go to the range on his break, come back and do a twilight.
Nah.
Hey, but to your guys' point, David and Steve, so you guys are talking about like, hey, this pays for our golf. It's just very similar to us. This is a tax write-off.
Yeah.
We're locking in the code. It's like, range time, tax write-off. Rounds of golf, tax write-off. The drinks at the range, that's part of food and bev. That's going towards the tax write-off. So why the hell not?
Yeah.
So young man, so that's an interesting point. I think that goes back to like Latinos again. I feel that we do not do a good job when it comes to, yes, I don't mean about making money. I mean when it comes to those details of contracts and taxes, splitting it, LLCs, and then some. Like you have an LLC plus you have to go three ways.
Preach, brother.
Yeah, you get into so that's the thing that we're not there yet, to be honest with you. And I talked to Steve, I was like, we're gonna have to put more money into the split. But then even if you want to do your own LLC for your own, so we're looking at splitting commission for sell prices. So like we're gonna get our products, we're gonna go to different shops, we split commissions. But even like that concept is kind of like, all right, we split commissions. How do we? Yes, we have an entity, but then you're gonna have to make your own that pays out. And we're not. I just feel as Latinos, man. Where do we get that from? H&R Block? You know what I mean? Like, where do we go?
No,
man?
you talk to our boy Caesar, and if you guys haven't got a chance to listen to one of the earlier episodes we did, that was part of the conversation that Caesar and Ralph and myself had. And Caesar's definitely helping out smaller businesses get that. And that's, dude, you are so spot on, David. And it kind of goes back again almost to the upbringing, where it's like the Mexican type of thing. Oh, tienes que ser honrado. Like, look, there's nothing, we're not doing anything that any other people are not doing. We're just using the same loopholes that everybody else is doing
rules, man.
when it comes to tax law.
Yeah. We're not selling any white stuff out there in the streets, man. We're doing it right.
I mean, I thought when you said your mom was selling cokes, I was like,
that's what she should have done. That's the right coke that she should have gone on. She was selling coke, all the Sprites. But I think that's the part that we're in our business. We're entering that phase. Like, all right, we have a really good product, and that's a good thing. But then it's like, all right, how are we going to split commissions? And plus, if someone like the whole influencer things and using what's that word that people use? It's
ambassadors.
Yes,
ambassadors.
The whole concept of ambassador as well is going to be new to us because now we're willing to split with ambassadors, for sales and price. But that means also on your website, having the code, having the ability to put that markup code, whatever, and then be able to track it it's work, and so back to your buddy that was asking about advice, honestly, doing this by yourself, if you're a one-man show, que te bendiga Dios, man. It's una chinga, 100% chinga. You got to.
No, it is. It's like Raul said, we're very fortunate that we have Ralph who takes care of that side of the, social media. And then we have a Raul who takes care of our finances, and then you just have people like me that just like to fuck around and make noise and make people laugh. And shit.
Dude, but
look, don't tell yourself
without you,
bro.
we don't have a freaking product, bro. So David, you're freaking spot on. It's like, and look, this is where you and Steve and even Hector, from your guys' end, I can imagine, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have your own specialty within the brand, within the company. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of times, again, the Latino mindset where it's like, well, I don't trust anybody, or they're not going to be able to do it as good. It's like, look, be comfortable with knowing what you're good at. Like I am very comfortable that Ralph, to a lot of people, is the face of the brand. I got zero shits to give about that. Like if he's on every single video and every single podcast, we're all for it, but that's a specialty. If we come to new product development and new ideas, I trust Hector. I've known him pretty much freaking 3/4 of my life. I know he's looking for the good of the brand, and I hope these guys trust me enough where I'm not going to screw them over when it comes to the finances and then running the business itself. But it's one of those things that the relationship that David, Steve, that Hector have, You guys are lucky to have that core and then build around the core itself. And that's
Right.
something
Let's
again, Mexican culture, we don't always trust
That's
one
true.
another.
Yeah.
so so that there's no more confusion. Let's go ahead and refer me as Hex. Call
Yeah.
Hector.
Okay.
Hector.
We're
'Cause I'm
called
like, wait,
Chingos
what?
Hector and our
Chingos Hector.
Yeah.
Chingos Hector, there you go.
Yeah.
Hex is like, what is going on? Are they referring to me?
No, and Raul, I think, like you said it, man, we each bring a certain talent to the table, a certain work ethic as well, and being able to really, trust each other and say, okay, look, uh, I'm gonna post something, and before it was like, oh, I don't know if we should post it. Now it's like, do whatever you want, man. Like for
Yeah.
each one of us to have that to,
Yeah.
because it's, it can be difficult to have, three partners, and you're is this good for the company? In my mind, it is. They might think it's not, and you kind of have to really, really work at that. But when you have the friendship behind it, the trust behind it, the bluntness of being able to just tell, dude, you suck, man. Why'd you post that, man? Like, and that's something where you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Like, what we're trying to do differently. But yeah, it all starts on that trust right there.
Yeah.
Nicely said, Steve. But yeah, you're spot on with that, man.
Are you at
Yeah,
the
and
point where I think we're at the point now where eventually we might need to get a fourth person
Fourth guy.
that is not a friend? Have y'all got to that already? Like, so I don't know if you're there in your business, but we know our faults. But to your point, or like we got to the point where we know our strengths and our weaknesses, and we know where we're missing something. You know, and so that's I think going to be the next phase of our company. Maybe in a year, we're like, all right, guys, this is a
We
gap.
need a Ralph.
We
Well,
yeah, we need Ralph. Or we need like whatever. We need that or the yeah.
David, that's a great call out. And I think again, we've
Yeah.
been kind of lucky. And I would say like, Ralph, please correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's an honorary, so there's two other guys that are kind of missing from the Los Golferos stories, and these guys are the Enigmas. My younger brother Louis, and then my brother-in-law Sergio is really kind of our photographer. He does a lot of that stuff. My brother is the jack of all trades. Like if we need good booze, he got the hookup type of thing.
Oh, nice.
But he's kind of like the wild card. But if there's that additional member outside of the core group, Ralph, I mean, you're probably gonna agree with me.
Yeah.
The hopped on Eric,
Hopped on. Yeah.
our boy Eric, who reached out to us to buy one of our limited edition towels. We just kind of built that relationship with him through Instagram. Turned out that he lives right around the corner from Ralph. All of a sudden, they're golfing together. Anytime I get to hang out there in Vista, the northern San Diego County area, we're hanging around. But he has been very blunt, very straight up about stuff, and he brings a marketing background as well. So I know Ralph and him are really kind of looking at that angle, but he will call it as it is. Very straight shooter, and he's been involved in social media marketing, and he works in the hospitality marketing industry and all that stuff. So no, you're spot on, David. Sometimes that eye from outside of the group, where they're not going to be bashful saying you done fucked up, is a very good thing. And I think we get that from Eric. Nelson has been really good about that stuff as well. Tacos at the turn. So we've been lucky. Some of the people that we've met within, this little brand we started has gained us traction with some people that have been really helpful to kind of steer where we're heading out to next and some of the events that we've been doing. But Ralph, I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, dude, or Hex.
No, I agree 100, and I think it's because we've been so blessed with the just our being social with everybody and being cool with everybody. Like Lalo has a belt. That's a fucking beast of a belt. Let's promote it. Let's help him out. Let's do something with it. I have one. Everybody here has one. Then Tacos at the Turn comes out with this hat. Let's do that. Tacos Nelson from Tacos at the Turn was one of our very, very first, I would say, enthusiast followers, because he was very adamant about like, you guys are cool. I want to do something like you guys, and we just created a friendship with him. Also, we hooked up with other groups like Raza Golf and that, but they have helped us elevate ourselves, and we try to mutually do the same thing for us. So if there's anything, like you said earlier, that there's no social groups in your area, well, go past your area. As the only advice I would probably say, because like we have friends, golf friends that are in different parts of the country, Minnesota, up north.
Dom and Derek.
Dom and
Safe
Derek.
Park.
Shout out
Safe
Bar,
Park Golf podcast. I mean, we're going to be hanging around with those guys next month over in the good old north of Minnesota.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
So
See, and just to on Hex on what you said, man, you know, that's awesome because we're starting to do that. You know, that was something we have one of our uh, he's also an influence here in San Antonio. He's been doing it for I think 10 years. And his name's Andy from Nothing at OB, and he kind of, you know, just got us involved, and you learn from him, learn how to really interact, and you know, and again, it's more about the communication, you know, promoting each other, man. That's huge, you know, being able to just talk. You know, I'm not competing against them, you know. I'm
Yeah.
It's more of like bringing us all together and networking and being able to build our community more. And you know, and slowly we're doing that. Like we just finished our podcast with Sarah, and I mean, man, that like blew our minds, you know, how much she's involved in the golf community, not only here in San Antonio, but like nationwide, you know, like being able to, she's a commentator on ESPN Plus, as you know, one of the, I guess, a Spanish commentator, and she was telling us like there's not a lot of Spanish commentators for golf. You know, you
Yeah.
can't watch it on there, and you know, she's it's branching out like that and being able to really, you know, create those friendships, because golf, you know, it's something that you're always going to have available to you, and you're going to create that trust, that friendship for a long period of time, man.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and if I could piggyback off of what the guys are saying, because David, you're saying that you guys are kind of in that phase of looking for maybe that next person to add to the group. I think too, really what resonates with me, what Raul was saying, is like with Eric, right? Eric keeps it real, where it's like
Yep.
he's not gonna blow smoke up our asses or anything like that and say like, oh, I like this just because I like it. No, like he and I have had discussions where he's just like, bro, like why'd you guys do it this way? And he's genuinely asking, not to be like
Yeah.
a dick or anything.
Yeah.
He's just like, why'd you do it that way? And then I'll take it back to Raul, and I was like, hey man, Eric brought this up. Like, what do you think? And then we have our own internal conversation. And I think the thing too is that like learn to be blunt, don't be offensive, but then also just be open minded.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be, advice for you guys is when you're looking at somebody
100%.
to potentially join, don't just go for the guy that's like, I love your brand. I want it. Everything
Yeah.
about it is going to be like,
Oh, yeah.
roses and all that. It's like, no, man, like what is it that you like about the brand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once they start talking about what they like about the brand itself, what they like about you, because you guys are the brand.
Yeah.
You guys are the original three, and nothing will ever change that. You guys make Chingos of Golf what it is. And if somebody doesn't like one of you guys in the group, then he or she doesn't truly like what
Yeah.
you guys stand for.
Yeah, and the person that I'm thinking of, I think it's like more like people that can do joint venture contracts kind of stuff. Like that. That to me is just a niche of like, okay, how can we build businesses together and build up upon them? That to me is like, where do you find a person like that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but if they do come around, man, we'll give them some percentage, like, and it'll be great to connect businesses in this kind of thing. But that's where my mind's at, like that kind of help that, I don't know how to make joint ventures between businesses and then split back end stuff. I don't know, but
well,
Is
David,
that what you
it's
guys are looking? Oh, go ahead, Ro. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. You were adding something to it.
Well, I was gonna ask, is that what you guys truly want? Like, do you guys want to add a fourth to like become
No.
part of Chingos,
No,
or do
no,
you
no,
guys
no.
want to partner with somebody?
yeah. No, and by say fourth, I don't mean like I think we're good as a brand.
We're trying
I
to
think
complete
we
the
wanna expand.
foursome, David. Come on, we
Yeah,
need
no.
the
Yeah, well, see, that's one of our things.
I like to share each other. No shit.
The reason why we have three is because whenever we all three of us go golfing, there's always room for one more to
Kind of.
come golfing with us. What do you
Yeah.
mean, kind of?
Well, I mean, also three is good because you split. Like, if we don't agree on stuff, we vote and that's it.
No, I'm talking about actually playing golf, not like
Oh,
the
oh,
business
like
side of it, dude.
that goes into the concept of a rando. And here's the good thing. Another thing, like I'm not a fan of randos, man. Like every time we have a rando person, I know it's part of golf. It's going to happen. You're gonna have that fourth. If you're three, you're gonna have a fourth random person come up. It's 9 times out of 10, man. They're not my cup of tea. I don't know. They're just not. They start asking weird questions, and I don't know. Like I don't.
You
I'm
sound
not
like my
here-
brother-in-law now, dude.
Well, yeah. Like,
So
I'm
so
not
another
here to be
piece
your
of
brother,
advice,
man.
David,
Yeah.
break that
You know,
habit.
Huh?
break
You
that
have to,
habit.
man.
Yeah.
You
have to
have
break
to.
that
You
habit.
know what I like though? But let me tell you what I like though. I like to have that fourth person be somebody that follows us or that knows what we are and what we do. To me, that's awesome. Like if we have somebody that kind of gets us and they know how we are, even better. I don't know, but you're right. I should break the habit, but
I would say you actually want that fourth to actually be somebody that doesn't know you, and if by the
Yep.
end of the round they're behind what you stand for,
Mhm.
now you know the brand's doing what it's supposed
So
to.
like I have to win them over.
Yes, you
Not
have to.
really.
And
You
usually
win them
you
over
just-
by being you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
well,
Be
yeah,
yourself.
or
Don't
just-
change anything.
He
Or
doesn't
just-
like being himself, guys.
or just
Put
bring
it
out
this
the
way, David.
alcohol.
You don't. Well, there you go. Booze
Bring
always.
out the alcohol. Let's
In
go,
the
buddy.
great words
Yeah,
of
nice.
Party, bro.
Chile,
in the great
Chile,
words of
Chile.
Willy Wonka, candy's dandy, but liquor's quicker. So you can always do that. But look,
Yeah.
David, I will tell you this, and this is almost been part of the Los Golferos mantra.
Yeah.
Many of us, because Ralph is out in North County, San Diego. Hector travels all over the freaking country because of his 9 to 5. I'm out here in LA, and then sometimes I'm traveling. But you don't know how many times Hector has hit me up. He's like, "Hey, dude, I talked to a doctor in Missouri who wants to even invest into the company." I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Sell him a towel first, and we'll talk about
Tell
it
you about
later."
it.
Yeah, Ralph talking like, "Hey, man, I just played even further down south, and somebody's gonna place an order," or even like, "Hey, man, I'm just gonna grab it from the inventory we have." And same thing. I've gone out with rounds because I have a kid who plays golf with me. He's 14, and sometimes we'll get the randos. You start chit chatting, and they'll see my hat, they'll see my towel on my bag. Like, "Where'd you get that from?" And I was like, "Hey, it's a little side business we do." They learn more about the brand. Like, "Hey, where can I get one?" "Have some in my trunk, man. Let's go." That's how we honestly started. First, Los Golferos literally started out of Hector's trunk and my trunk. He had towels he was selling
Nice.
out of his trunk. I had towels that I was selling out of my trunk. But it happened with those randos, and now those randos are now some of the core followers of
And-
Los Golferos, and they're the ones that are asking, "When's the next event? When are you guys doing this? When are you guys doing that?"
And I do that everywhere. Whether I'm at work, if I see somebody with a golf hat, if I see somebody with a tag on their hat,
Tag,
somebody, we just golfing, and I just open it up. Check us out, bro. Look us up on Instagram, dude. We got some merch. I mean, even when I was on vacation, I was at the bar, and at the end of the night, my wife goes up to bed with our child, and my son stuck around, and we're hanging around, and we just randomly, "Oh, you golf? Oh shit, did you golf?" And then just open it up, check out our Instagram. So I already got like 5 guys that are looking to buy some of our stuff that I just met in Puerto Vallarta and shit this week.
See, I didn't know that, Hex. We just got the update right now.
I just got in last night, guys. I'm sorry.
I know.
But you guys have
that could explain some of the weird orders we got in already, dude.
But I think, I mean, yes, I agree 100%. But Steve, you could agree with that. I think our name sometimes causes a little bit of friction. And let me tell you why. Like, you guys have a very good, unique name, Los Golferos. Everyone loves that, man. Everyone can get behind Los Golferos. But even our own kind, Steve, there's two quick little stories. We played golf with some guy from, he said he was from Colombia, and he had a white friend. So it was him, a guy from Colombia, and they were young. They're in the 20s. And we were playing whatever. And we don't talk about those Chingos of Golf. We don't have product like you guys that I have in my trunk. I would love to. The shirts that we have here, finally, the material that we have here, it's taken a year. The one that Steve's wearing is like a jersey fit. Wasn't great. Yeah. People still bought them, but they're not what people really wanted. But side note, when we're playing, we about Chingos of Golf, and like, "Oh yeah, we have a thing." They people sometimes ask you what you do for a living. I don't talk about what I do for a living. I just talk about Chingos of Golf. And I was like, "Yeah, it's Chingos of Golf." And his buddy, the white friend, he's like, Chingos, and he looks at his Colombian friend, and I'm thinking, Colombian brother, man, you speak Spanish, you have to know. And the Colombian guy goes, "Yeah, Chingo's like, chinga tu madre." And I was like, "No, man, that is not Chingos of Golf." And we start laughing, but, and that's our own Latino,
Yeah.
Anyways.
And that's, in my opinion, that's where you would kind of break it down and tell them, no. I know what you mean. But no, this is a different dialect. And it is, we're from Southern Texas, and just break it down like that. This is kind of like our culture, and we're trying to, separate it. But yes, it is kind of slang, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But just break it down for them. That's how, I think that's how I would do it. I would break it down.
But it's great because the people that get it. They saw the Chingos. He says, "Oh, Chingos," and they smile, and we're like, "All right, yeah," So. But I do agree with you guys. I think I should think of it as get them to like you, especially for the brand now.
Just
Now
be
that we
you, man.
Don't
That's
even
it.
get them to like you. I think
Yeah.
really it is like who can you draw in through natural presence and
yeah,
like Raul was saying, I'm down here in San Diego and I have Eric, right? And I have a couple other buddies now who are becoming a little bit more involved in supporting what we do out here. But so it started off with Eric and I down here as far as like how we would go out golfing, people would see my towel, his towel, people would ask questions. And then it's actually evolved to where now down here in San Diego, we have a group chat of like over 60 golfers. And it's
wow.
all just randos. Not okay, I won't say all randos.
With
but
your phone number, like your cell phone number, or what is it? Like WhatsApp?
it's
What is it?
it's through
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's through Instagram. The Golferos official account is involved in it, but then my personal one's in there too. And so yeah, we just go out golfing. People see our, I get
Yeah.
it. Like you said, we have the towel. We always say the towel is our banner. Like people see it, they're like, it
Yeah.
sticks out. But a lot of it is we're out there golfing and we're having a good time, and they're like, man, you guys are fun. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we should play more golf together. And it's like, cool. Funny that you say that. I have a golf brand. My buddies and I have a golf brand together. This is what we do. We also have a group chat. We'll throw you in there, and anytime we have a tee time, if you're available, just jump in.
Yeah, that'd
Jump
be
in, yeah.
awesome. That's
So-
Steve. Yeah.
So you start getting rid of randos by actually befriending randos. It's kind
Yeah.
of funny because you start developing that community, kind of what you guys were saying earlier. You want to develop that community. Now it's less of you promoting the brand and it's more so your group chat. I have 50 golfers down here where they're now bringing in guys. I don't really bring anyone into the group chat anymore. It's very rare that I bring someone to the group chat or Eric brings someone to the group chat. Now it's guys going, bro, I got this guy at work. He saw my towel. I told him about the group chat. I told him about what you guys do. He wants to join, and it's
Yep.
open game. I'm like, dude, go ahead and invite anyone you want to the chat.
Yeah.
And that's how it snowballs and it becomes more, is that you have to develop that community. You have to develop that message and let the message carry itself. Because if you continue to try to keep pushing it yourself, it's not going to happen. You
yeah.
need to develop that community.
So along that line, David and Steve, I know you guys mentioned, South San Antonio is a little bit different, but how's the Latino golf community there? Is that something that you guys can tap? Is that something that you guys can really expand on, trying to grow that community out in South Texas? How does that look for you guys? What's the outlook?
There's one main group, Steve, right? That it's called the MAGA, the Mexican American
Golf Association.
Yeah, that's one of the main ones out here to be part of. But there's dues there, right? Fees. But
yeah, they have several, I guess, social media communities. I think there's here in San Antonio, there's like San Antonio Amateur Golfers, Four Bros golf community, and it's more of like the same what you guys were saying. Like they're part of, like if you ever need somebody to go golf with, you just hit up that Four Bros and you get in there. So the market here in San Antonio, there's space, there's space for that.
Tons of space, and even south of Texas, towards South Laredo, Corpus, like a lot of these areas. I don't see that. I think that's something that could be tapped where, you'll be able to really utilize the community there and being able to really just have fun with it,
So I think this is a great time to throw it out there, especially because I know we have folks that follow us in Texas. We have loyal people that follow us in Texas. So like, guys, you want to meet up some cool guys over in the San Antonio area, hit up Steve, hit up David, follow him on Instagram. Guys, hit up your Instagram real fast.
Yeah. All right. Or the other Hector, not Hex.
Yeah, Hex.
Hector. No, but I like your idea, man. I think that's one thing, at the beginning when we're doing this, I want to do something for like kids in high school who never had the opportunity to play golf. I was one of those that I never played golf in high school. No one in my family did it. It was something I picked up in college out of necessity with my fraternity, because I was that one Hispanic dude in the fraternity. I didn't know how to play. I paid $75 for a 1 hour, kind of lesson. And from there, that's all I have. And I bought some Wilson clubs that I still play to this day. I still play with Wilson clubs. And you know what? I am proud of my Wilson clubs. They're
like
bright yellow.
Like the same club?
The same bag, the same clubs
okay.
that I've had for 20 plus years. And I will not change it. And I fly my Wilson flag, man. Kind of like Pride Month today. It's Wilson Pride. bad month when I'm doing it. And I think my wife even said, "Hey, David, I think you need to you have a podcast, you have all this chill stuff. Like, I don't know if you can play with the Wilson." Like, anyways, regardless, I'm that guy, man. And my point there
Good
is,
on you, man.
Yeah.
but I never had the opportunity, man. I never had the opportunity. No one ever took me to a golf club, to the golf, to play golf, the etiquette, the little things. So it'd be good if we had to give opportunity to kids to do that. But when I brought up the idea to Steve and Hector, like, are you dumb? That's not what we're brand. We're gonna do. And I was like, all right, guys, like, all right, get it. I was just, I want to help some kids out, but there's only so much time in a day.
It's not there yet. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still time to grow.
Yeah, no.
man.
I mean,
like, believe me, I would love.
that would be my like social well-being kind of thing, but whatever, there's only so much time in a day.
If you guys don't mind, I wanted to ask a couple questions.
Yeah,
Hex,
Come on, Hex.
So I wanted to talk about, you were talking about the manufacturing process and also the type of material you're using. How hard that was it going through? Because that was a big thing for us. And
That's
I always
all
talk
David,
about
man.
it like,
That was my job. My job was to design the shirt and get the manufacturer. So for the past year and a half, I started chingando with, we use a third-party vendor that 90% of everybody uses. And it's Alibaba, like we use Alibaba. And the trick to that, there's so many tricks, dude, that I've learned from. You don't want to do, we did Pakistan to begin with because we want to do cheap, low cost, and along the way, miscommunication where we were saying we wanted polyester, like sports brand, whatever. And they sent us like mesh polyester, and they sent us like random fabric. They sent us extra shirts. The sizes were smaller, 2 sizes smaller than American. It was bad. And we lost the money because they weren't secure. They weren't secured. Like, it wasn't insured. We didn't do the insured process of that Alibaba. But before we got the Pakistan people, we did some China. We did like 3. We were trying everything. And we were losing out money, and we were learning. I've also learned how to chat with people from other countries. But it's been a 1.5-year journey, and I've learned to get the schematics down of the shirt. I mean, just people like the little buttons here, like having this button, making sure they tell them it's the same color, same size. Every little color and detail has been laid out in multiple colors and forms. But it's been a journey, and Steve got to the point where I got fired from the group from doing it because we got a shipment of crap, but we still sold it. And I don't say we sold crap. We told people, hey, these shirts are not stretch golf material. Heads up. It's like jersey. It's, and we were very careful with that, and we still sold out. So
we sold out, yeah.
That's good.
We sold out. Yeah. And now we have the real material, the stretch, fabric, full way, UV protection, all that good stuff. But it was a journey, man. And if anybody wants to get in this game of selling shirts and golf, I mean, it is a journey. And
do your research.
And even if you do your research, may God bless you, man. Que Padre, el Hijo, y Espíritu Santo.
Yeah.
And you better have money to lose, because we've lost so much money. And I mean thousands. I don't mean 10,000. But that's still money out of pocket, man. That's still $300-$400 here and there. And at the end of the day,
man, it's R&D.
Yeah. And and now that we're selling the shirts, and you're thinking about like making your money back, making a profit, we're not considering that lost revenue in all this year lost, man. So, it's been a journey, and we haven't got to the hats yet, and I don't think we will. I don't know. We want to perfect the shirt, and which we have it now. Yeah. I think we have it now. The next step with the evolution, the next is colors. So like changing it up to like college colors, and we want to go there. Same design, same concept, but we haven't had a product, Hex, in a year. I wasn't like, not that I wasn't proud of the other one, but if you go to
there's something you're not comfortable with.
I wasn't, but we had it, and we spent $2,000, plus, so we're like, all right, we still have to make something out of this. And luckily we have good followers and people. Go ahead, Steve.
And that was like, this shirt is probably like the flagship of our our company, but we also we had our website that we our third-party vendor also, where we had regular polos that that had the Loteria characters on it. That was good quality, but again, it was more of marketing a little bit more. The maybe just the print on it wasn't just wasn't good enough for us. We wanted to go a little bit extra, try to get some more colors on that, because we sold our gloves, we had a couple of hats on there, but they're just basic. It was more for us basic, and we just wanted to go to the next level. And I think this was a great start to that.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
No, because I definitely I like them. I love them, especially because you have pockets. Is there any
Yeah.
reason why you went with 2 versus 4?
Oh, so we.
Sometimes, you know,
Oh
Yeah,
man,
there's
there's
some
an
pins down
argument.
there.
Like there's fighting all the
So-
time with it, man.
Dude,
Oh,
it was so much. I mean, it was maybe 2 months in the arguments, and then so when they made, we have not gone to a shirt with four pockets, and I told these guys like, dude, we should do it just to see how it goes. We didn't get them. We just did the 2, and then we went to 1, and then we did with none, and then the one with none, people are asking for it, but if you look at it without the pockets, it just.
it doesn't.
It's no different than a sublation shirt, man. It's no different than somebody just putting lines on their shirt and calling it a day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe one day we'll do without pockets. I think eventually we'll do it. But I also think about like copying and people taking the next step or copying.
Yeah.
So I told our vendors, I was like, I don't want you to be promoting it or using it. I have no control over that. And I told that to Steve and Hector, like, hey, if you think about it, and I think with you guys with the sarape, like that color as well that you have, that I don't know what do you call it? I don't know, it's like I don't want to say rainbow color, but that spectrum of color is very specific to the sarape. We thought of ourselves bringing up like our colors to be similar to that, but out of respect to you guys, we're like, nah, man, we can't. We're not gonna touch it. Like it's not.
Do it.
No, but it was not. I think we're gonna put it like on a dress, whatever. But I just felt like, nah, man. And this is before we got on the podcast, by the way, guys. This is like this is like a year ago, and we're like, now we won't go there, just
because honestly, if you're worried about people copying you, people are gonna copy you, bro.
Yeah,
people are gonna copy you 100%.
And that's like, I'm like, man, like it's going to happen. But you know what? If you're gonna copy us, good luck finding a good manufacturer vendor. You're going to learn your lessons, and I know it's going to happen unless you find the vendor we went through. But I mean, if you go through that stuff, good luck, man. If you really want to go for it.
Just to piggyback on David's, the 4 pockets thing, we started really thinking, okay, if it's for golf, if you put your tee and your ball there and you bend over, it's gonna come out. Plus, for us, it's a little tight, a little snug. So La Pancita is gonna be there. Maybe it's easier when it's all the buttons are down here, but yeah, like you're just like
I was just
you're turning
thinking
like
like
Batman.
You could take a long tee and a short tee, put one on each side. I mean, you don't have to carry the balls or nothing, but
I wanted to know, Hex, if there was 4 pockets, like what are you putting in each pocket? Like
I was just thinking just
a little motivation over here, una pelota aquí.
Some positive vibes here.
Coca-Cola, that my mom sells you. No, dude.
Why not? Shit. It's a good place to stash it.
Yeah.
But I think
I was gonna say, David, like, sorry, Hex, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you didn't.
It's funny that you say like, hey, like, out of respect for us, you didn't want to do the sarape, but Hex and Raul and I instantly were like, do it, go ahead and do it. And like Hex was saying, like, we're not the first to do the sarape golf towel. There's actually, I think, like 2 to 3 other brands right now that are doing the same thing as far as sarape is their mainstay. But we do it different and they do it different, and it's only going to make you better, man. Like, don't like our last episode, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, we were on with Buena Gente with John, and he does guayaberas. And we asked him, we're like, hey John, like, you have the guayabera, like, are you worried someone's gonna copy you? And he's like, nah, man. He goes, I want people to copy it. All power to you. Go ahead and do it and do your thing, because maybe you do something better, which is gonna have him try to step his game up. And that's all it is, man. It's gonna be continued evolution. Like, you have to continue to push it. And like I was saying earlier, it's the brand is gonna speak for itself. The story is what's gonna sell. People want to be in your shirt because it's gonna say something when they're in it. And to kind of wrap that all up in vein with this is, we were talking to John, and he was saying that he went to the PGA show and he was showing off his guayabera at the PGA show in Orlando, and somebody came up to him and he was like, hey man, just so you know, like, there's going to be 4 other companies here that are going to be making this by next week, because they're all stopping by to see it. And so it's going to get out there, man. So the most important thing is, like, just do you guys. Do you,
Yeah, that's true.
whatever
That's true.
idea
And
pops
enjoy it,
in
man.
and enjoy it
Yeah.
and run with it, man.
And I think building that community is important as well, along the way. But
No,
Look,
and I mean,
everybody adds their own spin to it. That's the
Right.
biggest thing, because
Yeah.
that's something I even brought up to John. And shout out to John and Buena Gente. Amazing freaking conversation, guys. If you haven't checked out that episode, check it out. But
Yeah.
look, first time I ever saw it. Look, even Hex and I talked about like, hey, what if we try to do this? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the brand Cubanera, which
Yeah.
makes the, well, let's be honest, the white version of a Guayabera.
yeah,
Had a polo like that for a while, or what they call the Mexican wedding shirt. Juan even brought that up. But it's about how you add that additional flair. Like Ralph mentioned, and this is why, like I said at the beginning, all of us have our lane. Hector took something that was not unique, the Sarape golf towel. Our origin story starts with even freaking Scotty Cameron doing these things, and me kind of being like, do I want to buy this or should I be upset about it? And Heck saying, say less, let me freaking figure this out. And his, aha moment or moment of brilliance was the use of exotic pleathers on us, which nobody's doing. And people are like, what the hell is that, snake? Is that avestruz? And that's our calling card. So yeah, there's a bunch of other Sarape towels, but not the one that Hector created. And that's
also,
the claim to fame.
Yeah, not only that, we started with the authentic product, the authentic Sarape, cutting up Sarapes and making it in a way where it's gonna be durable for 1, 2, 3. Well, shit, I've had mine already since I had the same prototype.
Yeah. You and I have the prototype.
Raul and Hex have the original towel still on their bag.
Over 4 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wash it, I throw it in the dryer, and it works. I don't recommend everybody throw it in the dryer because I'm trying to see how long is this motherfucker gonna last me before it fucks up. We always recommend just wash it and then iron it and let it air dry and iron it. I'm throwing that shit in the dryer. I need a new towel. I can't just keep rocking the prototype. But what I'm saying is, and this was a conversation that I had with Mike and or with Ralph and Raul, and we started seeing all these other Sarape towels come out just like that. And at first it was just a little bit like, what the fuck? But whatever. Like I said, you're gonna get copied. And then I brought up the question: should we start doing thermal print? And they were like, well, we could sell more. More colors. It's faster. It's readily available. You put your order in and bam. Where with an ours, we have to order the fucking fabric. We have to get it cut at one place. We have to get it manufactured at another place, as well as the leathers, the little pleathers that we get. We have to get them cut to a certain size, and then we got to get them punctured and everything. So it's a process. And so ultimately, we just decided, let's not go that route. Everything we bring out going forward, like you said, you haven't gotten into the towels because you're not ready with this. It's kind of like the same thing. We're not ready to bring out, and we've tried to bring out other products, but we're trying to use the same material because that makes us us.
Yeah.
And we're holding down to who us is, So that I believe when you say it's hard to move on to another item when you're not really grounded on the one idea
on the one
started with.
I would love to be able to have it in the back of my trunk, and I think today we get our shipment of the new final material. But I told Steve, I'm supposed to get it today, or tomorrow, and a shipment from from other countries. I wish we could also. Side note, I wish we could get somebody from Mexico, man. I really do. But when you look at the cost analysis of product MOQs and so forth, you might have to buy 1,000 shirts, at X price versus other places. So there's a reality to this, man. If I had angel investors, by all means, let's go for it. Let's go down to Mexico, find a shop. And, but the reality is like even the markup, the sell price, the reality of the amount of profit.
The shipping alone,
The shipping alone, the cost, exchange of money. I mean, there's always costs. And also the marketing. We spend about $1 per shirt for Facebook ads and Instagram ads and so forth. People don't see that cost, man. The bags, the shipping, it adds up. At the end of the day, you only got this much, you only got so much, chingos of money, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. There's no money.
Hey, full circle. I like it.
Full circle. Chingos of money, man. Chingos of golf. There's nothing there. But it's been fun and it's great to do it with people you love. And we've been close friends. We've been doing it for a year. We haven't got to the point where we want to cut each other's throats yet. So
Yeah.
We respect our. I mean, I think once we start getting more money and everything, I think that's when we start like, all right, man, we gotta figure this shit out even more real. But all in all, like it's a lot of fun, and I love these guys. At the end of our calls, you know, we tell each other, "I love you,"
There
you
you
know,
go.
and I
Shit,
keep
I'm jealous, bro. We gotta start saying that.
you know, and I don't.
Every
It's
time I
another,
see you.
I never fucking tell you guys I love you.
I don't know if I
by
say it
the
in
end of
person, though,
by
but-
the
No, I
end
do.
of the day
No,
when
I
we're
do.
hanging
We
out
do.
and all
We
the
do.
booze
I'm
is
fucking
clicking,
around.
there's a lot of I love yous.
No,
Yes, I love you, bro. I love
I
you.
love
I
you.
love you,
bro.
man. And boom, bye. Get out of my face, type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's
but
been a
that
journey. It's been a fun journey.
I love the topics that we're bringing up on this, because David, you are right. Within our culture, we don't bring these things up, and honestly, it's part of why we started the podcast, because it's like we went through the same kind of ups and downs, and Hex was just talking about, like, figuring out our pleather and using the questions we asked ourselves, like, do
Yeah.
we change our lane in a way? So for anyone listening or watching, like, if you're thinking of starting a business, or getting into the golf branding, this is what you should be
Hit us
thinking
up.
about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hit up
Yeah,
Chingos
hit
of
us
Golf.
up,
Hit
man.
us
You know,
up.
Chingos of Golf. Hey, ask us questions, man. I mean, I'll try to get back with you and answer you. I probably prefer to pick up the phone and talk to you than, messaging sometimes. I just prefer sometimes. But yeah, I would love to be that resource for you guys, man. For
And that's
anybody.
why it's usually one of my questions that I always have. I want to find out, how is it that you started? Like
Yeah.
usually I'll ask, how is it the idea, how it happened, and you guys pretty much gave that out before I even asked it. But I wanted to know how the manufacturing is, because
Nice.
I know that's a tough
It's a chinga,
situation
man.
for somebody to go. No, yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
And I mean, I don't know who, yeah, if you're you, I mean, also times, I mean, you're looking at someone, and we get our product, I would just say from China, right? And like they work at night, I mean, when I sleep, they're awake. Actually, right around this time is where I start getting messages from them. And if there's something wrong with products, whatever, I'm going back and forth. I'll also say in the journey, we were trying to go through Pakistan, but I didn't know, I put out a request, an ROQ of like, I didn't put the full design. I started getting random calls at night, and it was from, I don't know if it was what country they were from, but it was pretty shady. And they were like, I don't know if they were on drugs or something, but they would look at me, and it's black background. And like, hey, our warehouse, our warehouse. And then they would pan over, and it's people on the, it is what it is, man. It was and I was like, I don't want these calls, man. Like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. So I would block them. And I told Steve, I took a screenshot of it. I was like, look, Steve, look at the calls I get at night, like Chingos of Golf, man. Yeah. Like,
it's like in a shack, and then like he's another partner of him and making a shirt like right there. Like,
like sewing. Like,
and they're on the floor. No, yeah, they're on the floor, whatever. And it's just a bunch of stuff everywhere. And they're smoking their pipes, whatever, having a good, I don't know what they're talking about, but they're looking at the camera and they're saying hi. And I was like, all right, I was thinking of like getting like a shop in Asia or something, but no, these were like, but I learned my lesson not to go through some of the countries. I haven't done Vietnam. I would want to try that, but at the end of the day, I want to get to Mexico. But it is hard to get into the Mexico market. That's not as easy without going out there,
And it's probably going to get even tougher with what's been going on over there as well. So.
Like the wars, you mean, or like economics, or what?
No. You just look at geopolitical issues that are going on with Mexico and their newly elected president. So it's gonna be interesting times.
That's an interesting point that you bring up. Do you guys in California feel you're more connected to like the Mexican politics as opposed to, I don't feel, Steve, I might be wrong. Maybe it's just, I'm just narrow-minded here, but like, I don't think us and even the people that live on the border are that close to the politics in Mexico. It's an interesting comment you brought up, and I'm just kind of curious to see like, how does that impact you guys, or how do you know so much about the Mexican stuff happening on there?
I don't think it's a societal thing, but I think for a lot of what we do with our 9 to 5, like I deal with cybersecurity.
Okay.
So in tech, there's a lot of stuff that's going around the world, not just in Mexico, but look at the stuff that's going on in France right now. Look at the stuff we're going to be going through in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So everything's connected, man. Everything geopolitical is going to be connected to commerce. And look, it might even be impacting businesses like ours, like your business, our business. We get our material, like Hector said, one of the big things was we were trying to get authentic Sarape material, so our stuff does come from Mexico.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, how is that going to impact us in the very near future?
The first thing we made initially when we first started, we were taking out the made in Hecho en Mexico tag. And then after we're like, why the fuck are we taking this off?
No, leave it, man.
Leave it on.
Leave that shit on.
Yeah.
That was
We just added made. I had to do it, guys. I mean, and now I don't know about this, but is there like a rule though for you to sell shirts out there to have made where it's made? I think it's part of like I don't know. There's like a general, and don't quote me on this. I think there's like a rule or policy you have to put where it's made from, right?
Made from, yep.
Yeah. So, and I told the guys we had to talk. It was like a 10-minute conversation. Like, we're gonna have to put this, guys. Like, it is what it is, Like, it's so we put designed in Texas, made in China on our shirts, man. I'll let you know how that goes, guys.
if it works for Apple, David, it works for you guys. Don't worry about it. Designed in California, made in China or India.
Here's something you could do. Made in collaboration with people in Pakistan and Texas. Made as a collaboration between the people of Pakistan and the Texans.
By the way, just to be clear, I had to cut the Pakistan deal, man. So after we got that, it's over. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to budge on like the design. It was really tough, man. So I had to just go to what we know, and that's good old China. So maybe one day, if anybody hears this podcast, we're looking for that Mexican partnership. If anybody wants to, and if the price is right, man, the price gotta be right, guys. I can't pay $40 a shirt, okay? So.
Oh yeah, and it's tough, especially because I had a separate business that I started, and at the time it was almost there was nothing here in the States. It was very rare. So I reached out to manufacturers in China, and I was communicating with them, and it was like a lot of Zoom calls that I would get, like on a Sunday morning. It's already it's Monday already over there, and I'm like, what the fuck? And this lady's like showing me her product on the camera, and I'm like, what is that? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Those were fun times, dude. And then the company that starts selling you everything they make, and all of a sudden it's like, why the hell are you sending me pictures of those products? We're not even in the same vertical.
Yeah. Well, try to tell them to make. They didn't understand the concept of Guayabera, and so that was the other lesson with the different vendors we went. They're like, we had to show them pictures of what we wanted, but even then, they were like, one of the design. Okay, they did the colors all the way to the back.
All the way to the back.
Racing stripes, man.
Yeah, suspenders. It looked like suspenders.
It's suspenders on there.
And then another one put the pockets like up here or something. It was just, dude, man, we lost so much. We went through so much, but we're finally in a better place. Trial and error, so.
I was like, a lot of the stuff from the Masters, it's made in China, bro. That was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Steve. What isn't really? Even in the golf industry, so many like.
Vietnam,
I would say
Vietnam, China, Taiwan.
India as well.
India too, yeah.
Well, anybody you see with that little, I mean, like, let's talk about it. I mean, I don't know if we could say names of companies, but one of the big golf companies. Well, I mean, I would just like I think of just like the top ones that I could think of, like Pins and Aces, Swanee or Swanee, whatever, and maybe two other ones. The shirts are the same material, and then you see the little button thing here, like the ones that have like a design here, and those kind of shirts. I mean, I think, to be honest, I think the way that we're differentiated is the pockets, and other than that, we would have done the same thing as them and get the same sublimation of shirts. But it goes back to like you standing for something.
Well, I mean, look, to your point, David.
Receiving some cease and desist letters.
He's like right now, send him text, hey man, stop talking. All right, man. Sorry.
Dude, but to your point, David, I mean, I don't know, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with and Ralph, I know I've exchanged some of the stuff. What's his name? Landforce. Landforce has that Instagram page that talks about where you can get anything in the golf industry made, and he always goes and he's like, hey, this is where Peter Millar is being made. This is where the new Tiger Woods Sunday Red is being made. And he'll even put the freaking name of the companies out there. And if you can handle the MOQ, it's China, it's Taiwan, it's all there.
Yeah. I think that's the key thing is can you handle the MOQ?
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. If you want to jump into those big companies, some of those companies are going to make quality stuff. But that MOQ you're talking about, like, all right, to get you started, no less than 1,000 pieces.
And that's a minimum order quality for anybody who's listening. Minimum order quality. Most have 1,000 pieces. If you can find the right ones that are open to others, and if you're lucky and they have good product, then that's where you want to be a niche, especially if you're starting off, man. Because 1,000 pieces at $8-10, you're looking at $10,000. Shoot. So.
And that's not including freight, and you get with import taxes and all that stuff. It's a lot more than that.
And then
Yeah.
and then storing your shirts, by the way, guys. I know I'm the guy that, so the first order came in, it was just 100
Joel.
shirts. But and then these guys were like, just put it away, put it away. And I do woodworking as well. And so like I
Oh
have to put it
God.
at the
Settle
cupboard. And
down, man.
hey, I'm not the best woodworker. I do some woodworking, all right? But
I'm a crafter. Get out of here, dude.
I'm like San Jose, man. I just don't have I don't have Mother Mary. I don't have a Virgin Mary, man. All right.
It's all right.
You need to
David.
talk to Hex
Hector's
about that
got-
stuff, dude.
Yeah, Hex has a sewing machine. He's
Oh,
got,
yeah?
I don't know. Hex has it
Oh,
all,
dude,
man.
Hex is a fucking
He's our
renaissance
crafter.
man.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
We might need
I got-
that. We might need
I
to
got
get sewing machine.
I got 2 sewing machines. I'll let you borrow one.
So
He got
you
that
try to make,
industrial. He got that
that's
good,
good
good.
because you get to fix things and make things as needed, right, Hex? Like you get to like trial and error things, put a tag here or there.
I get
Dude,
clowned
Hex
on
is
it
the
a
type
lot. They call me fucking seamstress and shit, but whatever.
Hey,
Dude,
I-
Hex is a type of guy who will fucking be fixing his own jeans that he purchased because he needs them to be exactly the same, and later on he'll be fucking making a table out of wood because he didn't like the one he's gonna have for the carne asada later on. Like literally, he's like, well, what if I fucking cut this out and I put a little cooler inside the fucking table? I was like, bro, only you know how the fuck you're gonna
Yeah.
do that.
You do
All
Well,
I'm
dude,
saying,
if-
though,
if 35% of your shirts or whatever you sell is made here, in other words, you're sewing 35%, you can put made in the USA. Brother. I'm just saying, man. Get to work, dude.
David's got the percentages.
Prototypes.
Prototype.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's funny because in the beginning, all the sarapes that they were coming out of me. They were my handed. So I would say like the first 500 towels.
easily.
Wow.
Easily.
Maybe,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff that Hector and I were selling out of trunks, and then we got Ralph like, hey, take a couple. You can sell up there in San Diego
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the first, and then I remember I was for my job at the time, I was in Missouri in Overland Park for I want to say almost 6 months. So I shipped my sewing machine. I shipped all this product. I was, because it was me. I was
did do
I was
that. You
cutting
should
it in
have
the
freaking
sewing
hotel.
machine.
I was doing it in the hotel, bro. On my time off,
Yeah.
I would do my work in the day, and then I would go to my room, and I just had a table there, and I was just cutting the leathers, sewing them up, shipping them back to Raul, or shipping them
Yep.
over from Overland Park, Missouri. So yeah, so the
Wow.
first, it might have been more than 500. It was
Yeah.
fuck, I was
It
doing
was a
it for a
good
long
chunk of-
time.
It was a good
Yeah.
chunk we were selling before we even launched the website. I mean, that was
Yeah.
really the stuff we were selling, person to person. And then once we launched the website, I would probably say it's higher than that number. But yeah, I mean, look, a lot of times we get people like, oh, why aren't you guys doing this? Why aren't you guys doing that?
Oh,
David, Steve, back
Yeah.
to what you guys said.
Yeah.
It's also the quality we're putting
Quality,
out. Like,
yeah.
could
Yeah.
we just throw stuff out there? We probably could,
Easy,
but it's not
yeah.
going to be the quality we want.
Yeah. Or the
Yeah.
design or what you stand for. I mean, you can just
Yeah.
copy what's out there and, make yourself a buck, if that's what you want to stand for. But
Mhm.
that's not a. So Hex is more like me then, after all. So I was, yeah, Steve, I did. It was me, guys. All right. It was me.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
dude,
kidding,
you had
I'm
a
kidding, I'm kidding.
Conversations, bro. Yes. Choose a conversation. Yes.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good stuff,
Oh,
guys.
that's
Well,
funny.
Steve, I wanna kind of jump on something. You brought up the Masters right now, how we're talking about production, where their stuff is made, and then it looks like you're rocking a Masters hat on.
Yes, sir.
Right before the call, you were talking about you got to make the holy trek. You made it to the
pilgrimage.
Mecca, man. The
Yeah.
pilgrimage. Tell us about that, man. So you went to the Masters. How
Went
how
to the
was
Masters. That was a lifetime experience. I'll tell you that. A good buddy of mine, Antonio, I work with him. I've been working with him for 12 years. And, we started golfing. That's something like we always had a friendship, but like golf took it to the next level. So he was the one who made the lottery
The lottery.
for the Masters, and he told me the whole story. He's like, dude, like I won, and first thing I said was my wife is gonna go. I was like, perfect. Like he was like, I invited my wife, and then he had another buddy of his that he goes hunting to Montana. He does all these good these trips with them. Like they go camping for what do you say, David? Like 10 days.
15
in the
days.
15 days,
Dang.
like hunting elk, like not glamping, like tent, like negative 15-degree weather. So
With the
I was
same
like,
dude.
same dude. I'm like, awesome.
Okay.
And so then he had asked one of our other buddies to go, but he was expecting a kid. So he's like, oh, I can't go. The due date's in April. So I was the next choice. So I was like, let's fucking go. Let's go.
Get it however
Uh,
you can, bro. Who cares if you were
you
the
By
know,
hook
fourth,
or by
fifth
oh
crook,
option?
yeah.
man.
I was like
Yeah.
the third pick. I'm like, I'm going. So, $100 for the ticket, dude. $100
Yeah.
for the ticket. We went on a Wednesday practice round, and the experience alone. We stayed in Charleston, so we had to drive 2.5 hours to Augusta, and the hotels in Augusta were 1,000 a night, man, minimum 1,000 a night, like just staying in like a cheap hotel. So that's why we chose Charleston, because we want to really spend what we needed to do over there. Um, so the experience at the walking into Augusta, we got there probably around 5:30 in the morning, and one of the most organized things I've ever been in part of, man. They everyone's in lines. They have several entrances, and everyone's pumped. And they have a group of 50 people here, 50 people there. And what they'll do is right when it opens up, they're going to shift you in like 4 sections. No, there's no running. There's no running. You cannot run there at Augusta. So the first thing we do, the gates open, we do our little our walk and pro shop. That's the first place I recommend anyone who's going to the Masters or gets picked, go to the pro shop. First thing to do. The line looks insane, but we spent maybe about 30 minutes in the line for the pro shop. Uh, Complete pandemonium in the pro shop, like chaos, but the service there was the best ever, because you're looking at the shirts and they have all the hats, all the shirts, everything you could think of, and you're like, oh, you know what? I like that shirt in large. And the guy was like, oh, you know what? I think a medium's gonna fit you. Real calm and collective. Let me go get it from the back for you. Here you go, sir. And people behind him were like, boom, boom, like going crazy, getting all this stuff. Um, People drop about a good chunk there. From what I understood, it makes $1 million an hour. The pro shop makes $1 million an hour. There was a guy in front of me who spent 10 grand. He had like 6 to 8 bags full of
God
merchandise,
dang.
and just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what I do. Anyways, I bought a couple of stuff. I had friends calling me, hey, can you give me? I was like, dude, just send money, but you don't have your phones on you, so you got to take orders right before, because your phone has to be left
Mhm.
in the car. Um, and then you know you have to buy a chair. I bought that master's chair, and as soon as you're out of there, that right next to the pro shop they have a shipping center where you could ship all that stuff. um, but we kept our stuff on there. So after we got our chair, ran directly to oh man, Amen Corner, or no, hole 16, I'm sorry, 16. And that's where they skip off the I could be wrong on the whole number, but they skip it off the water.
Hmm.
And it's a par three. You set up your chair, and boom, we started walking around. Uh, the food was fantastic. It's cheap, man. $6 beers, $3 pulled pork sandwiches, chicken salad, breakfast, you name it. Saw Tiger, man. Tiger was my bucket list. Seeing him on the range, uh, the energy there was just phenomenal. It's surreal, and it's again, you're there at the Masters, man, and you're seeing the greats. Just Rory was there. I mean, it was just being able to see them in that element was an experience, man. And I took off my shoes. We all took off our shoes. We walked the fairway. You got to feel it, man. And it was amazing experience.
That's awesome, bro. I'm looking at Raul's face right now. And Raul's
That's
just
what
like,
the
I was
dude.
looking at Raul.
Well,
Raul was just like,
I've it's been 22, 23 years of going in the lottery, and I still haven't gotten picked.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've worked with people that have gone multiple times, and actually one of the
Yep.
guys, funny you mentioned that, Steve, that the shop, he has gone multiple times, and the shopping pays for his trip. He will resell everything, so
Yeah.
he will buy thousands of dollars, and he will just put it up for sale. So the Peter Millar shirt that sells for 125, he'll sell it for $300,
Yep.
$400, depending on
sheesh.
if it's a
Wow.
limited edition one, and it pays for his trip. So he will stay in Augusta just because the trip is paid
it
for
pays
with
for
everybody
itself.
else
Yep.
buying
Pay for
Yeah.
itself.
resale prices. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Yep.
he does that.
He's there for
The
business.
quarter zips that go for $200, he'll sell for $500-600.
Yeah.
But he told me, he's like, look, if they're willing to pay for it, I'm willing to sell them to that price.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you go multiple times. You know, I have a buddy of mine that went is on 3 times. I'm like, dude, like how? Like tell me your secret, please. Yeah.
So
lucky.
Raul mentioned something there that I wanted to ask everybody in this group right now. So Raul, you're on 23 years.
Yeah.
David, have you thrown your name into the lottery? And if so, how long have you been waiting?
No, it's only been 1 year. This year was the first time I did it. So
okay. Hex?
I did it 1 year and I never did it again.
Steve, how about you, man? I know you've gotten to go, but how long has your name been in the lottery? How many years have you done
I'm going on 5 to 6 years. Yeah.
5 to 6 years. Okay. This year is my first year. Raul always tells me and I forget. So this year I got the email and I was like, okay, I'm in.
It's funny because the one time I did it was because he told me and I did it. And I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm never going to get picked.
I even do my wife to do it. I'm like, babe, just do it. I know you're not going to enjoy it, but like, look, you go stand in line and buy all the stuff and the trip is paid for. Because that's what I'm planning to do. I mean, half of the stuff I'm going to keep in my closet for me because I'm a gear whore. But I mean, I just want to go there for that experience.
I hit the pro shop twice because I was like, you buy all your stuff and you're like, man, or I'll get couple more things. But I still have regrets, man. I really do have regrets of not buying more. Like quarter zips, long sleeves, another chair, like any of the stuff. And they're smart, you know, right when you get to the cash register, they have keychains, golf balls, towels. Like you're just like, oh yeah, I'll get this.
Start grabbing everything.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah.
Steve, can you tell us how much you spent?
Oh yeah.
You don't have to, but
oh no, that's fine. I would say about $500.
Oh, okay.
It's not, yeah.
When Raul goes,
yeah, that's wife's budget. That was the wife's budget.
If you resell it, and Steve's like, no, I'm not going to resell it. I was like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, Raul's gonna get there with the $20,000 budget, bro. Trust me.
Dude. No. I don't want to be that guy, but yeah, at least. Well, look, guys,
he's gonna pull out a brand new credit card for it.
Yeah, dude, gonna be paid off immediately anyway. But look, I don't know if you guys saw this. Nobody really can answer if it's a rumor, if it's realistic, but there was I consider it a meme. There was a meme that was going around a couple of weeks ago where they were apparently the story was that Augusta National was contemplating in November to open up X amount of rounds to the public, but each round would be $10,000 for one round of golf. So there's a question I'm going to throw around the horn. We'll start with our guest, of course.
I'm sorry,
David.
No, hold on, Ro. I need you to repeat it. Sorry, David from Warrior Smokehouse was texting me right now.
Shout out, David.
Sorry.
Shout out, David.
So yeah, I'll try to find it and I'll try to send it out. Maybe we can even repost it on Los Golferos Instagram account. But there's that rumor. Nobody's confirmed that it's BS or if it's real. That Augusta National was contemplating to open X amount of public tee times at $10,000 per golfer. So again, the question to you guys: 10,000, you get to play Augusta National. Are you guys dropping that 10,000? Steve, we'll start off with you, since you've already been there as a spectator. But are you dropping 10,000 to play Augusta National?
100%, man, 100%. I unfortunately, I mean, maybe it will hurt, but you know, man, the fairway was another level, dude. The fairway, the greens, like it was just. I even told one of my buddies, I'm like, man, they should have like if you spend $1,000 just for them to either let me putt or take a drive off the tee box. Like I'll pay $1,000 for that, just to one putt of me, just a picture of that. So yeah, I'll drop 10 grand on a one round at Augusta.
David, are you taking the Wilsons to Augusta for 10,000?
No, no. What do you think? I'm not going to pay $10,000 to be frustrated. I'll already be frustrated paying that, and then the minute I play so I get frustrated after the third hole. That's it, man. I'm gonna lose my cool. Now I'm not banging the stuff. I don't go nuts, but I do find golf not enjoyable. You know, like I find the game. I don't find it. What I find enjoyable is being with the camaradas. What I do find enjoyable is drinking. You know, walking the green. I love that. But man, no, I'll skip out for 10,000. I'll do it for $1,000. You know.
$20.
So he has a number. He has.
I do have a number.
He has a
number.
number.
Yeah.
I don't think Augusta National is going to agree with that number, but
No.
Yeah.
all right, Hex, you doing it? 10K. You think Sylvia's not going to want to wring your neck?
Silvio says the Golferos paying for it.
Right off.
Right on,
Silvio's gonna
baby.
be like, it's
Biggest
the
write-off
Golferos.
ever.
First of all, it's the Golferos paying for it, and I'll be like, maybe I don't know. No,
Yo te la
personally, I
pago,
wouldn't do
fam.
it. Personally, I wouldn't do it. Personally, I wouldn't do it because A, obviously that's a lot of cheddar, and then two, I would ruin the fucking course, bro. Divots in that bitch.
Hey,
Pay 10
the way
racks,
these
dude.
guys,
Don't worry about it.
dude, to be honest, the way they take care of the course after one round, insane.
What
Like
do you mean? They go out there and they're.
I'm
and they're-
sure.
Yeah.
They're
They're
Oh,
there,
yeah,
Dude,
like,
there's the videos. There's the videos
Yeah.
what they
There's
do in the
gonna be-
middle of the night to get it into
Can you
pristine
imagine-
condition next morning. It's
Yep.
Can
insane.
you imagine the Mexicans working there that have to keep up the greens? They're gonna be like, look at that fucking Mexican ruining our shit, making our work.
Our own people.
There you go, Mexican hating on another Mexican again.
Mexican.
Oh, dude.
Ralph, I got to ask you twice, but you dropping 10, and how's Lisa gonna take it?
I'm probably dropping 12. 'Cause I'm gonna spend 2 more on lessons because I do want to play well.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be on Los Golferos, Raul.
Dude, if that were to open, dude, that's not even a question. We're it's a company field trip, and we're getting Fink to coach us all before we go, dude. Because
Yeah.
I already told Esther as soon as I sound like, babe, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if it's complete bullshit. It's November. That's my birthday gift to myself. I don't care.
Yeah.
10 racks to play it. I will do it in a heartbeat.
Like I'll stop playing
Yeah.
golf for a whole year
I'll go
just
be
to
your
play at the
caddy.
Masters.
Can
Yeah.
I be
I
your
do
caddy?
that.
I'll go be
If
your
I had to
caddy.
give
fine
up
with
golf
it.
for a full
Yeah.
1
Yeah.
year
I'll-
to commit to it, yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
Hex
I'll
as a
just-
caddy, well,
I'll
don't
just be a
definitely take
caddy.
it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely take that one. But Steve,
I
you
could-
bring up a really good point. That's another good fictitious scenario. Get to play Augusta National and you spent your entire budget of golfing. Because look, honestly, most of us probably will drop around that much money golfing in a year. One round for the entire year for Augusta National, or you get to spend the rest of the year playing your normal Moonies and
I go.
specials.
I go with playing the whole year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I could live 1 year if I only get to play Augusta National once, just because of the prestige behind it and mystique behind it as well.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things that you have to experience it. I mean, look at Steve, man. He was grounding. He took his shoes off. I was like, I
Yeah,
can feel the grass.
I was grounding
you
is
can
the best.
spiritual on this shit, bro.
Well, that's the thing.
Man, he was getting all that energy, man.
Maybe I would need to I need to experience that spectator view first, you know,
I think
before I would commit to it.
it'll change your mind, man. It really will. Just the atmosphere was just electric. Man, I can't stop thinking. Like just the rough, the pine needles. You're just like, dude, like you're slipping. You walk over and you're like, oh shit, like I almost fell, because that's how fine it is there. And I'm like, look, if I go in the rough, I hit a ball in the rough, like I'm just gonna throw it back in the fairway, man. I'm not gonna try to hit it out there. But yeah, Hex, like you said, like if you guys experience it, it might change your mind.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right on.
Well, here's to hoping that rumor is true, but I'm pretty sure it's not. But yeah, I can't even imagine the chaos that would happen if it were realistic. Like what kind of lottery system they would have to do to try to get people that tee time.
Yeah, that's a whole nother lottery right
How
there.
many beers would you drink though? Let me ask you
dude,
that. How many drinks would you have? Would you go
Dude,
at it,
honestly,
or would you just respect it and not drink?
No, I
I wouldn't have a
honestly,
single beer.
I wouldn't have a single fucking
Oh, if you
drink
really
just
want to
enjoy
play,
it as much.
like really play, not
Yeah.
get all.
Yeah.
I think I play better when I'm drunk, man. So like I'm gonna have a couple.
I agree
Like,
with Steve.
I-
I'd probably be
I-
drunk before I get there.
I got to tee off.
Yeah, I know. I would want to take that whole experience in, even though I
No
agree
be-
with
no
Hex
beers and I'm
and with
walking.
Steve.
No
Oh,
beers
oh,
and I'm
that's another-
walking.
Oh yeah,
no
yeah.
beers and
the-
walking that whole
I think
course.
that I don't even remember seeing, like, I think I saw 2 golf carts the whole time. Everyone was like just walking, man. Like that's
Yeah.
oh yeah. And funny thing is that they don't have name brands there for the food or the beers. Eagle's Nest or Crow's Nest, sorry, is the only beer that's name brand, but it's only solely made there at Augusta.
Oh shit.
The labels
Cool.
are domestic light beer, IPA, and then what was the other one? another type of domestic or import beer or whatever. And then it was cola, energy drink, and what was it? Fizzling water or something like that. But no name brands of anything at all for the food wise.
Mm.
Dang, that's
Yeah.
cool. I love that. Get back to basics. Like
Yeah.
you just go up and grab what you're gonna grab and then get back to watching golf.
And
That's
the
awesome.
line to for the snack bar, man, it's 5 minutes. Like everything's laid out. Like they're always there. Like you just grab and go, grab and
Yeah.
go. And they're welcome to the Masters. It's like Chick-fil-A. Like welcome to the my pleasure. But no, it's every time you go somewhere, even in the bathroom. Welcome to the Masters. Enjoy your pee. Seriously, yeah, yes,
Enjoy the piss.
yeah.
That's awesome, bro.
Oh,
Right
dude.
on. Well, guys, this conversation is amazing, and it sounds like we could keep going for hours,
Oh, yeah.
and we could definitely do that. But we're gonna wind down here for our listeners and viewers.
We got to run it back though.
We
Yes.
definitely got to run it back. I have one last question, and this was sparked from our conversation with John. We were talking about music on the golf course, and I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna start a guest playlist. So everybody that's been on the podcast, we're gonna have you pick a couple songs and throw it on there. So first question to you, David and Steve, is yes or no to music on the golf course? And then if yes, what is one song that you have to have on the playlist? And we're going to add it to our Golferos and Guest playlist. Whoever wants to start first.
Go, Steve.
You guys-
No, you go, dude. You're the.
All right, for sure. I do like music. Oh, the sound has to be within a reasonable distance, not too loud, right? Obviously, I want to respect the people. I want to be that middle ground. I'm fine with that, but I do want music. The first song. I mean, I'm a big '80s fan, so you're gonna get '80s music from me. I would prefer to have. I like New Order, and that's going to be the song. And I'm thinking of not. Wait, hold on.
He's diving into a Spotify playlist.
No. I got it. So there's a couple. I think Bizarre Love Triangle would be the one that I would go to. That's my to go. So I can always do rap, but 80s, get me pumped up, get it going. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
Wow.
That's going on the
Okay,
playlist.
I think that might ruin your playlist, man. But if it
No,
doesn't
I want it
by
to
all
be as
means, throw it on my
random as possible and let it be constructed from our guests. So I love it. All right. Steve, what about you, man?
So yeah, I agree. Music, I'm all for it, man. It makes it a little bit more exciting. Man, it's my go-to is it's between Incubus and AC/DC. But to get me pumped, I'm gonna have to go with AC/DC, some Thunderstruck, man. Like right at first of the tee box, like get me
First on
pumped.
tee
Let's
box.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Hex, I know you love music, so I'm not even gonna
I love
ask that
music.
question. But
So-
what's
Is that
that
even
one
a
song we
question,
gotta
bro?
throw on
Come
there?
on.
So something to pump me up, I'll probably throw some Luis Miguel on. Just
Oh,
to
let's
pump me
do
up.
it.
Hey.
Throw some Luis Miguel on right now. Fuck it. Boom.
Bien romántico.
I know, right?
Oh no, I'm talking more about the pop, like
Okay.
like the pop stuff, not the romantic shit, but some of that
Okay.
uppity beat stuff.
So we're gonna have Hex pick a specific song, but not right now. We're putting him on the spot. But
I have the song in my head, I just can't remember the name. I can't remember the name. I really can't. Move on.
See, that's why I searched mine.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't remember
Yeah.
the name. I know.
I have-
I was like, but I do.
Hold on.
But you
watch.
wait, in the spirit
this
all
of
out.
right,
I'm
while
gonna
you
scream- I'm
while
gonna
you
scream out to my wife.
while you look it up,
Scream out to my wife.
I'm gonna ask Raul. Raul, I know you love music on the golf
Hey,
course.
babe.
What's a
Ralph,
song?
I mean, I was the one that brought up the question to John, so that was a
Yeah.
given.
Yeah.
Dude, and my genre of music is all over the spectrum. But dude, you know what? It's LA. It played every single time. It doesn't matter what playlist I play, but it always shows up. You have to have Ice Cube. Today was a good day.
Oh,
Dude, you took my song. Yep.
Dude, come on. When do we play golf and not have that song show up?
And then not come on. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It-
So
it has
I
to
mean,
be.
like we could go from listening to death metal, and at the end of the round, we're still playing Ice Cube. It's we're gonna have a little bit of everything. Depending on how drunk people are, the tears might start dropping when you play some Chente towards the end of the round.
Yeah.
So what'd you pick? I didn't hear.
I went with something dude, Hex, every time you and I play, it's the same thing. It'll show up. Ice Cube, today was a good day. You have to
Yeah.
have that in the golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out. You guys ready for it? This is
Yeah.
what was
Let's
in
go.
my head.
you play it?
Yeah.
You gotta turn it up, homie.
So
Can't hear it, dude.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
I know it.
Next time, just share the video, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that video's wild, bro.
That's what I'm saying,
man.
Ralph. That's the way you should close this off for the YouTube audience. Throw in a little clip of the video.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'll have to pull that. I'll have to pull that.
So
look
yeah,
at it on
if there was one song that's gonna motivate me, first tee, teeing off, throw that shit on right now. Let's go.
Put that on a par 5, have him in his feels a little bit. He's got to smack the ball. Yeah.
Oh man.
Right on, right on. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and wind down here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Go check out Chingos of Golf. If you're in the San Antonio area, they're going to try to expand it now. David's going to play with more randos now.
Yes,
That's right.
Yes.
So go check them out. And as always, guys, Salud Golferos.
Salud Golferos. Thank you so much. Chingos of fun,
Thanks,
guys. Thanks a
Chingos
lot,
of
man.
fun. Appreciate you guys.